Welcome to Notebook Nuggets.
Hey there.
So you sent us The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and yeah, we've done our deep dive into it.
It's quite a story, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
So our goal today is basically to pull out those key insights for everyone listening, save you the reading time, but still give you the core message.
Absolutely. And it all revolves around this character, Julian. He's this super successful lawyer, like top of his game.
Totally. Famous, rich, handling big name clients, had the mansion, the private jet.
And the Ferrari, of course. Can't forget the Ferrari.
Right. The title gives it away. But outwardly successful. Inside, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was deeply unfulfilled. Always felt like something was missing,
Chasing.
Yeah.
More recognition, more money, working crazy hours.
18 hours a day, the book says, which is just, wow.
And it took a toll. His personal life kind of fell apart.
Mm-hmm. Divorce, strained relationships with family, and physically he looked way older than he was.
Yeah, like 80 when he was only 53. Just completely burnt out.
Until that dramatic moment, the heart attack.
Right there in the courtroom. Collapsed.
And the doctor's warning afterwards was pretty stark, wasn't it? Basically, change your life, ease up on the stress, or else.
Yeah, or you won't have a life to enjoy.
Exactly. And that was the wake-up call he needed, I think. Suddenly, this guy who wins all his cases realizes he's losing the most important battle, his own life.
It wasn't like an instant switch, but it started him thinking. Really thinking about the imbalance.
And then he does something pretty radical.
He starts selling everything. All the symbols of his success.
The mansion, gone. The private jet, sold.
Even the Ferrari.
Even the Ferrari, he strips it all away and basically sets off on this quest.
And to find out
Right.
what? What's the real meaning of life?
Pretty much. And his journey takes him somewhere completely different.
Yeah, not another courtroom. He heads to India.
Specifically the Himalayas, seeking out these monks.
These legendary monks, right? Known for their wisdom.
And their incredible longevity, living over 100 years old apparently, but still full of energy.
And they supposedly knew how to unlock human potential.
Julian was determined. He finds someone who guides him to their hidden monastery.
And he just dives in, learns their ways.
Fully committed. He really impressed the leader, actually.
So much so that the leader agrees to teach him.
Yes, but with a condition. A big one.
There's always a catch.
Well, more of a responsibility. Julian had to promise to take these life principles and share them with the world.
Okay, fair enough. And how did they teach him? Not like a lecture, I assume.
Not at all. They used this really bizarre sounding story, a kind of nonsensical on the surface.
A story to teach profound life principles.
Exactly. Packed with symbols. It was designed to convey 7 key principles for a better life. And the first part of the story starts in a garden.
Okay, a garden. Like a really nice one.
Beautiful, yeah. Full of trees, flowers, birds singing. Smells amazing. Just, idyllic.
And this garden, it stands for something.
It represents the mind. Our brain, basically.
Okay. So the state of the garden reflects the state of our mind.
Precisely. That's the first principle. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your mental garden.
So positive thoughts like kindness, love, motivation, they're like planting flowers.
Exactly. They create a beautiful mental space, lead to good outcomes, inner peace, help you achieve things. But if you let negative thoughts, worries, weeds, basically, take over.
Then your mind becomes, a garbage dump.
That's the image they use. Yeah, a garbage dump churning out poisonous results. It ties into that old saying, an empty mind is the devil's workshop. You got to actively cultivate the good stuff.
Like weeding and watering. Makes sense. So tend your mental garden. What's next in this weird story?
Standing tall, right in the middle of this beautiful garden, is a lighthouse.
A lighthouse, okay. Unexpected.
And this lighthouse symbolizes our goals in life.
Right, like a guiding light. Shows you the way.
Exactly that. Just like a real lighthouse guides ships to harbor, clear goals give your life direction and purpose.
Because you can't reach a destination if you don't even know what it is.
You got it. So the principle is about setting those targets, knowing where you're headed, and crucially, keeping moving towards them, even when it's tough.
So having that clear vision is key. Okay, garden is the mind, lighthouse is goals. Then what happens?
Then, emerging from the lighthouse is a sumo wrestler.
A sumo wrestler. Seriously, okay, this story is weird.
Yeah. But he represents something important. Kaizen.
Kaizen. That's a Japanese idea, right? Continuous improvement.
Spot on. Think about a sumo wrestler. The incredible discipline, the constant training to get stronger.
Right.
Well, that same dedication is needed for our own personal growth. We need constant learning, constant improvement in all areas.
So it's not just about physical strength, but mental, emotional.
Everything. The monks really stressed reading books, seeing them as mentors, condensing lifetimes of wisdom. Kaizen isn't about huge leaps, but small, steady steps forward. Always learning, always improving.
Right. Small improvements add up. So the sumo wrestler embodies that constant drive to get better. What's the next detail about him?
We'll look closer at the sumo wrestler. He's wearing underwear made of thin wire.
Wire underwear. Okay, now you're just making things up.
Aha, no, it's in the story. It sounds ridiculous, I know.
What on earth does that symbolize? Discomfort.
It represents self-control and discipline.
Ah, okay. I can kind of see that. Seems small, maybe fragile like the wire, but essential.
Exactly. Think of a strong cable. It's made up of lots of thin wires twisted together, right?
Yeah.
Each individual wire might seem weak, but together they're incredibly strong. It's the same with discipline.
So those small daily acts, getting up early, eating right, whatever it is.
They seem small, maybe insignificant on their own, but you do them consistently, day after day, and they weave together to make you stronger, shape who you become. They lead to big changes over time.
Like building a strong cable, one wire at a time. Okay, I get it. Mind, goals, improvement, discipline. What else does the sumo find?
He's in the garden, disciplined, wearing his wire undies, and he finds a golden stopwatch on the ground.
A stopwatch. Let me guess.
You're getting good at this. Yes, the golden stopwatch represents time.
One resource we all have the same amount of.
24 hours a day for everyone, no exceptions. The difference, the monk said, is how we use it.
And they probably warned against wasting it. Procrastination.
Big time. They called procrastination the thief of time. While you're putting things off, someone else is out there making progress.
Ouch. True, though.
So it's about respecting time, managing it effectively. Balancing work, yes, but also enjoyment, rest, the important stuff. Successful people master their time.
It's not about being busy, but being intentional. Okay, so the sumo wrestler finds the stopwatch. Then what?
Then he slips. Reaching for the stopwatch, he falls and gets knocked unconscious.
Oh, bit of drama.
But then, as he's lying there, he starts to come around. Not because someone shakes him, but because of a smell.
A smell.
Yeah, the fragrance of a beautiful rose growing nearby in the garden.
Okay, a rose. What's the symbolism here?
The rose represents social contribution, helping others, giving back.
Ah, service.
Exactly. They shared a lovely Chinese saying something like, fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses.
That's nice.
The point is, the satisfaction you get from genuinely helping others, it's invaluable, more valuable than money or personal success.
That feeling you get when you make a difference.
Right. Those selfless acts bring a really deep, lasting kind of happiness and contentment.
So helping others is symbolized by the fragrant rose. We're nearing the end of the story. What's the final piece?
The sumo wrestler, now conscious again, looks around and sees a path, but it's not just any path.
Let me guess. Not paved with gravel.
Paved with tiny, sparkling diamonds.
Diamonds. Okay. Leading where?
Leading towards happiness, the story says. And the diamonds themselves represent something specific.
Little moments.
Exactly. The small joys, the precious moments of happiness that exist right now in the present.
Because we're always stuck in the past, worrying about the future.
Right. Our minds are always somewhere else, regretting yesterday, anxious about tomorrow, and we completely miss the good stuff happening right in front of us.
Like playing with your kids or just having coffee with a friend.
Those are the real diamonds. The monks emphasized living fully in the present moment. That's where real happiness and connection are found. Cherish the now.
Wow. Okay. So just to recap this crazy story, the garden is your mind, the lighthouse, your goals, the sumo wrestler, continuous improvement or Kaizen, the wire underwear, discipline, the golden stopwatch, time management, the fragrant rose, helping others, and the path of diamonds, living in the present.
You nailed it. 7 principles, all learned through that one symbolic narrative.
And they're all connected, aren't they? Like managing your time helps you improve, which requires discipline, which is easier if your mind is clear.
Exactly. They work together. It's a whole system for living a more fulfilled life. And this is what completely transformed Julian. He went from burnout lawyer to, well, someone completely different.
And he promised to share it all, which I guess is kind of what we're doing here in our own way, trying to pass on these nuggets.
Absolutely. Continuing that chain of sharing wisdom.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, you've heard these 7 symbols, these 7 principles.
Yeah, think about them. The garden, the lighthouse, the sumo, the wire, the stopwatch, the rose, the diamonds.
Which one of those really hits home for you right now? Which one feels like the area you maybe need to focus on a little more?
And more than just thinking about it, how could you actually practically apply that one principle in your daily life? Maybe starting small, starting today.
Yeah. Just picking one and seeing how tending to that little piece might start to shift things. Something to definitely mull over